Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. You know, it's a chilly January day, and generally if I have you to my home, it's in the springtime or the summer. We might be doing a picnic, but today I'm going to let you in on a project that I've been working on for almost a year with Cold Creek Nurseries in Aiken, South Carolina. We have completely transitioned this yard, so we are very excited to unveil the project today. We're going to start with Bill Tazai, who is the owner of Cold Creek. He's going to give you a rundown of all the different services that they provide, and honestly, I have probably used every single one of them. And then we're going to unveil the project. We're going to take you through the before and after, the removal, the planning, all kinds of things. And then finally, Bill and I are going to get in front of the Blackstone Griddle. Cannot wait to show you this. This is my new favorite outdoor piece of equipment, and we're going to do a delicious stir fry. So I want to get back in front of the fire, introduce you all to Bill, so let's go inside. All right, so we've got a frosty January morning and we are enjoying the fire. And I want to introduce everybody to my special guest today, Bill Tazai. He is the owner of Cold Creek Nursery in Aiken, South Carolina. And Bill, I have known you since day one of taking ownership of the nursery.
Right, 4 years ago.
I mean, it's amazing what has transpired over that time. A complete redo of the property, and just the growth has just been significant. So today I wanted you to kind of walk the audience through what all is available with Cold Creek Nursery.
Sure, thanks Vera. It's so good to be with you and by the cozy fire. So at Cold Creek Nurseries, we are a full-service garden center. We really have something for everybody. So it begins with our trees and our shrubs. So we have large trees. We can plant mature trees of any size and shrubs. And then you go into our greenhouse and you'll find the annuals, perennials, houseplants, cacti, succulents. We have beautiful hanging baskets, and every year we're coming out with the latest and greatest new developments from our growers. We also grow a lot of our own plants on site, and so the quality is already ready for this climate. And we also have a food market. We offer local seasonal produce and many dry goods from this region, so you get a little southern flair and you can be prepared for tailgating or parties or charcuterie. And then in our home and garden gift store, you'll find things that complement gardening, whether they be tools that are high quality. Also many gifts, so it's home and garden, things that complement your space, that beautify the space. And one of our number one items is birdseed and birding, so birding is a huge hobby there. So there's really something for everybody, but we also want you to succeed as a gardener.
Right.
We're known for having a diverse, high quality selection of plants and materials, but also our staff really knows what they're doing and they want to help you succeed. So we offer workshops and experiences. You can learn how to make a wreath, a container. You might learn about pruning your camellias in the winter. So you can check our website and find out all about the events and festivals that are going on. So when people come to our location, one of the things that we love, if you've never been there, is just the wonder that hits their face when they walk in, because it's a beautiful place. And it really fulfills our mission to help create beautiful spaces that invite peace, refuge, and connection.
I love that. Well, let's kind of walk back through. I want to go back to like the large scale plants for a moment. Is part of what you provide that plant will be planted in the yard?
Sure.
Okay.
So we can plant anything that you buy. We can deliver it. We can plant it. We also have full service design, installation, and maintenance. So you might not want to take care of it, and we can do that as well. So our plants, our trees and shrubs range from the small to the large, so you might want to have something really mature instantly. And we like to say you can pay for instant gratification or you can have patience and wait, but sometimes you might want instant privacy and you need a large mature tree.
Well, and when we go back in the yard in a few minutes, there's a maple on the side of my house that I bought when it was this big. And I wanted that maple so bad, and it was not the least expensive plant on the property, I can tell you that. And all the way home I thought, I've just lost my mind, I should have never done that. And it is the most beautiful feature in my yard. So I had patience, Bill. I made sure that I was going to take care of that plant. But one of the things, like, truly, if you visit Cold Creek on a regular basis, there's always something new. You walk into the greenhouse and it's completely different than it was when you were there 3 months ago. The constant turnaround of merchandise in the home and garden, the differences in the things that are in the market, what's in the greenhouse, and you mentioned the staff. Everybody is so knowledgeable. You've got some major longevity on that property.
We're really blessed with that. So the company's been around for almost 50 years, and we have employees who have 20 to 30 years of experience. Wow. And they've been studying horticulture, and they will tell you that they're always learning new things as well. So last year we expanded our garden center in the greenhouse area to a seasonal color house, and like you say, it's always changing. We have customers who come in regularly just to walk around because of the color, especially in the wintertime. Right. You can come in, it's warm, it's full of color, and many of our customers call this their happy place. And we love playing that role in their lives.
Well, I completely agree with that. So what we're going to do next is Susanna, who helped design everything that we've done in this yard over the last year, is going to walk the property with me. You're going to get to meet her, and we're going to get back together with you at the end to kind of wrap things up. So y'all come back with us in just a few minutes, and we're going to go put our coats on and get in the yard.
Great, sounds fun.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining me, we are on a chilly January day in my front yard. We're talking and working with Cold Creek Nurseries, and I'd love to introduce you to Susanna Collier. She is the landscape designer, and we've been really working hard.
We sure have. This front yard has been a lot of fun because your inspiration of the small cottage look just kind of lit me up. So I was able to come up with a design that just cleaned this up. There were so many elements that were already working so well together. I didn't want to do too much tweaking, but we did just enough. We pulled all these ferns from around the yard and tucked them into this lovely little brick planter that's built into the foundation, and it's really greened up the white. I think it adds a nice contrast. So that was a fun touch. And then this area was kind of good, so all we did was just did a lot of cleanup, shaped the plants out, made everything look uniform, and then really focused on making certain shrubs be focal points and other things just be layers and ground covers. So,
well, one of the things that Bill and I were talking about is that over 30 years ago, I bought this little tiny maple, and now it's just the cornerstone of the house.
The Japanese maple was an element that I loved, so I had to make sure he had his moment. And
well, we had the most fun in the backyard, so why don't we walk that way and talk about what we did back there.
Perfect.
This is really part of my favorite part of the yard. I just love the path. I love the oak leaf.
Yes, the oak leaf hydrangeas were, when I first came, I think we could like slowly huddle through here, and it was quite funny, but we got them trimmed back because that was the goal, is to make sure you could actually walk through here, especially since you're such a hostess. I wanted to make this ease of access, but they were lovely. I hated to do it at the same time.
Well, and you know, also this path was just, you know, the flagstone, and you've gotten all of that straightened out.
We sure did.
And this area used to be my fairy garden,
yeah,
and we've kind of transitioned that because one of the things that we were talking about earlier was that, you know, you redecorate your house.
Yeah, every couple seasons. And you know, a landscape has a time limit. That's what we came up against. We were looking at the landscape and it had reached its peak. And I mean, we had walls that were hiding back here. We had beautiful elements that needed to come back, and I wanted to modernize it, and I wanted to update everything. We saw this liriope. It was a carpet of liriope, and it wasn't quite working anymore. It was a little crowding, and it was making the shrubbery just feel heavy. So we transitioned to sod. We figured out how to remove trees. So if we remove trees, we get more sun. And so we got more sun back here, and it expanded the hosting spaces for you.
Everything had just really grown over too much. And as my grandchildren have grown,
Yes.
it used to be that they just, played in one little spot. And now they can throw the football because there's a wonderful
soccer
grassy
ball.
area.
That's right.
And, the pavilion really didn't even show up.
Yeah.
There
And now
was
it's
so much shrubbery.
Yeah, and now it's a whole moment, and I liked that you have some nice steps that transition to the second layer, and I wanted that to be a room and then another room, so bringing those two rooms together is always fun in landscapes. So I think when we planted up on the hillside, we were able to put a lot of color back. So while they're young now, they're gonna grow in and give you a lot of seasonal color down the road, but that's gonna open up some different heights and layers and really open up a secondary room.
Well, and when we were working on this, there are other elements that are involved, like the sprinkler system. Does it need to be tweaked in order for, the grass to get wet, which wasn't necessary earlier. And things like lighting the landscape lighting that you all did for me as well. And it's, instead of looking like a runway at the airport, it's hitting particular trees and bushes and the steps and that sort of thing.
And early on, you had mentioned your beautiful little orbs over there on the hill, and I wanted to make sure they got the lights put back on because I love those orbs. So it was making sure we bring a little bit of what was previously there that was working and putting it back into the new setup that we came up with. So I think that was the fun part.
Well, and for all of you, if you're thinking about doing anything like this, the relationship building is part of it. You have your favorite restaurant that you go, and you have your favorite store that you like to shop in. And for me, it's just the understanding of the history of this yard and where we've come and where we're going to go further. All right, so when we come back from the break, I'm going to be with Bill, and we're going to do some cooking on the Blackstone Grill. You don't want to miss that, so join us back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. And Bill, you've been inside enjoying the fire, and I've been out in the cold.
It's nice and cozy inside.
And it's really cozy now. We are in front of the Blackstone Griddle. And my husband was actually gifted this for Father's Day by our 5 children, and he loves it. And there's nothing better than stir fry on this griddle. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to place and you're going to flip.
Sounds great.
How does that sound?
Sounds
All
fun.
right, so we're going to start. I got the vegetables cut up in advance. So these are the Schumann Farm sweet onions that we just absolutely love to work with their products. And then I did some carrots. And sometimes they'll tell you to shred them, but I actually love to get a chunk of carrot when I'm having stir fry.
Looks great.
And this is actually the 22-inch Blackstone. And for us, it's perfect for 2. But even when the grandchildren or some of the children come for the weekend to Beaufort, where we use this quite a bit, it works out great. So this is going to need to cook for about 2 minutes just to get the onions translucent and the carrots nice and tender. So we'll let that cook for just a few minutes.
Well, I'll keep it going. Vera, I love cooking with you. It's so fun.
All right, the smell is fantastic. All right, so now we're going to add some zucchini and red pepper strips. And you're going to turn that up just a little bit?
Yes, turn this one up. You can already smell it.
And I might add just a little bit more olive oil.
Perfect.
Ooh.
I love this griddle.
Okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted to get this yard put back together is that we really love to be out here. And, here we are on a January afternoon, and we're under the pavilion, and we're cooking stir fry.
It's comfortable.
So as long as it's nice and it's not pouring down rain, you can do this. All right, so we're going to keep that going. And then I love to pick up the Georgia shrimp from the fresh market.
Wonderful.
But of course, in Beaufort, South Carolina, we can just catch them off the end of the dock.
Right there.
But this is wonderful if you don't have that opportunity. So if you'll slide that over, we're going to add the shrimp on. And shrimp doesn't take but a minute. So we're going to get that going. So while we're cooking this shrimp, Bill, tell us about some of the gift boxes that you have at Cold Creek that have to do with grilling?
Well, we have a variety of gift boxes for every taste and need, but when it comes to grilling, we have 2 different boxes for sizes that have spices and rubs for the grill master in your house. And so you can go to shopcoldcreek.com and pick out a box, and we'll ship anywhere in the U.S. and you can get your spices going.
They're all different kinds of brands, but this is just a frozen rice, egg, vegetable product. I mean, it's basically already done, but you're just getting it good and hot.
Nice.
We're gonna add that.
Oh, this looks delicious.
And then we also made a sauce. So, depending on your preference, there are all kinds of Korean and Asian barbecue sauces that you can do, teriyaki, that sort of thing. But we'll share a recipe on our website at VeryVera.com for the sauce that we use today. All right, so we're going to continue with this, let the shrimp get done. We'll pour some of this beautiful sauce on top of it. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about the project over here and how some of this can get done over the period of time like we did it. Plan ahead. See you back in just a minute. Welcome back, everybody. And Bill, I have had the best time.
It's been great.
I mean, we thought we would just be freezing, and we've just been warm in front of the fire and in front of the Blackstone Griddle. So we have had a great time today. Hopefully you have felt like you were part of the experience yourself in getting this yard up to date. We have enjoyed the process with your company, for one.
Wonderful.
I have really, over the years, gotten so close to so many people that are with Cold Creek Nurseries. I've loved that part. But, I'm excited to see the growth potential continuing. As I said, we're going to try to maintain what we've done so that we're not doing this to this extent every time you turn around. But could you give some tips on, where we're filming this show in January?
Right.
And so why is that?
Well, a lot of people wait until the spring or until the summer to plant their trees and shrubs or their gardens. And here where we live, close to the coast, the ground never freezes. So actually the best time to plant is in the fall, or even you can do so through the winter, and things get rooted in and they get stronger before the heat and the stress of the summer. So it's always a good time to plant.
Well, and we were also hoping that this would prompt people to understand that you get booked up. And, if everybody, certainly in our area, everybody's looking forward to the golf tournament and having guests in their home and people renting their homes. But looking now at what can I go ahead and get started doing?
Right. The good thing is, or the important thing is to get ahead of that, right? Get a relationship with a designer and a landscaping company and plan in advance, because things do get booked up. You don't want to wait until the week of the event to call someone for help. So we get booked up pretty quick in the spring, but if you call right now and during the winter, you can get on the schedule and have everything perfect and ready for when the warm weather comes.
Well, and I had to be kind of trained on that myself. When do we, as we did this almost 1 year project, what were we able to do in the fall? What did we do in the summer? What did we do in the spring? And, you don't really realize that you can put the sod in and it's almost time for it to get cold outside.
Right.
When you think that you're supposed to do that in the spring so you can cut it in the summer. So that part has been fun. Well, tell me about your experience today with the Blackstone.
Well, I love that griddle. It's so light, you can take it with you, and it's so fast, and so you can cook for a big group of kids with pancakes, or like we did the stir fry, and so that's something we can always add into the landscape plans, or things that you can do. You can cook and live outside, so it's a great product.
It is. And, one of the things that I always like to remind people of is that we all think that we can make the sauce from scratch and we can cut the vegetables up from scratch and we can do all this stuff. If you're ever in a hurry, just remember that the fresh market has so much of this already done for you. You can go to the produce department. They've already cut up the vegetables. You can go pick up the shrimp. You can buy their own sauce to put on your stir fry. but this works really well, and it also works well left over. So we've got plates in front of us we're going to enjoy in just a few minutes. So if you had to give any last tip about what to do.
Well, just be really open and honest with your designer when they come to see you. Share with them, for one, your budget so they can design appropriately, but also how you use it. Bring pictures, inspirations, and we want to design something that's for you and your lifestyle and your taste. So just be open and honest and build a relationship of trust.
And I certainly want to recommend Aiken, South Carolina as a destination. It's just a great place to go for the weekend. Cold Creek Nurseries is a venue you'll certainly want to stop in and see. There's so many amazing restaurants, antique shopping, clothing shopping, decorating shopping, all kinds of things. So as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do it in good taste. You've certainly helped me with that in the yard.
Thank you.
And I hope you all will come back and join me again next week.